Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, in front of your screen, you can see we have got a paper there from the Kenya National Examination Council. This is a paper in computer studies subject which was done in April 2021 for the class of year 2020. It's a practical exam, and basically in this particular exam there were two questions. Just like as usual, students were required to tackle the two questions. The two are compulsory. The first one was a spreadsheet question, while the second one was a desktop publishing question. I would like in this video to have us go through the first question, and it was the question on spreadsheet applications. In this question, we are going to use Microsoft Excel to try to tackle and see what the examiner required at every interval, at every item that was being tested in this particular question. So welcome on board as we go through this question one. The management of a company owning a chain of hotels intends to use a spreadsheet program to compute the revenues in thousands of Kenya shillings for the hotels during the first, second, third, and the fourth quarters. The hotels are rated as 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. Figure 1 shows an extract of the worksheet. Just capturing the display. This is the worksheet in figure 1, which shows the extract of the worksheet. You have got a layout, just like the way we should organize our information in a spreadsheet. Remember, columns in Excel are normally labeled A, B, C, D. This is not common to find all the times that the examiner even guides you how the columns are going to be labeled and so on. Many times you are going to just find a table and then you are told probably to create a similar table. But this one, I think they are a little bit friendly to have us have the columns labeled and also the rows labeled. But just before we try to key in anything, let's read part A. Part A requirement is that open a spreadsheet application, a spreadsheet program, and create the worksheet extract as it appears in figure 1. Save the workbook as task 1, that is for 11 marks. So this is what I would like to go and do now. So you may pause your video and then together with me we try to key in this table. So I'm going to open Microsoft Excel, and because of the size of the screen, I may not be able to allow you view. Let me see whether I can have Windows side by side. The side, one side having my Excel program, and the other side having the table as it is. If you are using a computer, I believe you are able to see. So I want also in Excel to be sure that I am able to view up to column G. Up to column G, there I am. So I key in the data very fast, hoping that you are better in typing than I am. In this particular case, some of the things that you should be conversant with is that even the capitalizations are normally tested. So I'm just keying the data, raw data, and then thereafter I'll engage myself in the formatting of the data. That should come after keying in the data. However, there are some people who prefer formatting the data as they continue. Any can do, any method. There's nothing wrong in both ways. Total revenue, that's where I am now. Then I go to A2. We have city in this case, notice that the capitalization is initial capital in each word. So city in, Falkland. Falkland Highway, and then we have got Hilltop, then we have got Membly, those who come from Membly. We have a name there, Voyager, Eden, like Eden, palm tree, tree starts with small, that's why. The Shaza is the next hotel. Then we fill in the star category 42553 and then we have got 4 and 5. Those are the hotels categories, and then we have got the values 174 400, 173 700, then we have got 182 900, 188 500, then 187 800. Notice I'm just typing the raw data without formatting. We shall do the format together thereafter. And then we have got 200,000 like that, and then 169 800, 163 900. Okay, then we come to this row or column here, 177 400, then 111 300, then 136 what 300, then 124 700, 118 700, then we have got 178 400, then 112 200, then 163,000, then we have got 106 800. Okay, then we go to the third whatever, the third quarter. It might be a quarter, 127 900, 194 900, then 143 900, 173 500, then we have got 115 900, then we have got 109 600. So you need to do a lot of practice so that you are not as slow like I am, because remember, in an exam even the speed matters. However, I believe I'll be able even to finalize my question. I'll be able to have attempted all the parts within the required time. I should take a maximum of 45 minutes, so somebody to keep timing me. Yes, so typing is what becomes very difficult, especially for those who are old, 144 600, but because you are young, you are able to do it faster. 200 and 195 500, then we have got 179 700, 117 200, then we have got 148 300, then we have got 150 500. So I guess that I have already entered all the data into the table. Then in cell, this is A14, I come down there and type total, quarterly, this is not a common word, revenue, then administrative cost. Okay, then percentage at 30%. I wonder whether that percent should be there. We are going to see thereafter. So that's my table, and then very quickly I now want to apply some of the formats that are available. And one thing that you can notice is that we have got borders. So let me just try to maximize, and then I will be mentioning some of the things that have been done on the paper. I have the paper on the table, so I am trying to counter check the formats that I apply. So for borders on home ribbon, we have got the border icon, and then we apply all borders so that we have got the black lines. The top row, we have got all these being bolded. And actually, I should also have mentioned that anytime you are given an exam, the font that is commonly used is called Times New Roman. So let's remember to change the font to Times New Roman, and size 12 is the commonly used font size. Now, some other things that you notice: star category, and yes, star category is in 2 lines, so that is called wrap text. On home ribbon, we have got the wrap text tool, and then there, as I go, I still can go and be maximizing or be widening the width of the columns, so that they can be able to, we can be able to view all the contents that they are raised therein in each column. These numbers, they all have got the comma style. So I apply comma style, but no decimal place, to 0 decimal place. So comma style, all these formats are available on home ribbon. So I want to reduce the decimal places to 0. And then you realize that these items, all the headings actually, all of them, they are not positioned at the bottom of the cell, but they are positioned at the top of the cell. They are positioned at the top of the cell. So remember, for alignment within a cell, we have got vertical alignment tools, these 3, and this is the top alignment tool. For star up to 4th, we have got all these being center aligned horizontally now, and then we have got ST here for first. It is done something that we call superscript. So I have clicked the button to display font formatting, font settings window, and from it I choose what? Superscript, with what has been highlighted. So I have highlighted, like now in this case I want to highlight ND, and then font settings window, and then superscript. Okay, and then RD for that, font settings, superscript again, and then TH for 4th, and then superscript once more, right? Then the column width of total revenue is wide enough to accommodate the whole title. The title for the total revenue is not broken into 2 lines. So we have it like that now. Then you notice first is not being displayed correctly. The width was quite small. So what I'm doing to resize automatically, you just double click this vertical bar, which is in between 2 columns, 2 adjacent columns, so that you are able to resize automatically the width of the column on the left side. So if, for example, I wanted to adjust column E, I could double click this bar that is in between column E and F, and that way we are able to resize the width of the column automatically. Percentage here, the word percentage is both bolded, italics, bolded and in italics. So there goes our table, and the only thing that I have not done is center align this one horizontally. Those star categories, they are all center aligned. Remember, in part A, we were told to save our work. We were told to save our work as task 1. Save the workbook as task 1. So that's what I want to do. Saving, I call it. I want to be very sure where I'm saving. In an exam scenario, always make sure that you have got a folder somewhere. I prefer the desktop. I'll create a new folder there with I might give it my full index number, like 0 whatever whatever or whatever 001. Okay, the full index number as we have been advised, and then you save all your work there. File name must be task 1. So how is the name typed? Like so, task 1. It's an Excel workbook. That is also important to confirm, because there is a version of Excel which will give you another save as type. There will be a different type, so you just need to look up the drop down list and then choose Excel workbook, like so. Right, so far so good. Then we go to the mathematical things that we have been told to do. B, we are told use a function and cell addresses to calculate total revenue for each quarter, and then note that then total revenue for each hotel. So for each quarter, this must be a quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and then the total revenue for City Inn, total revenue for Falkland, and so on. Back in Excel, and then which function does that? So for each quarter, the function that does what is what? The one which totals, it is sum function. I believe you still can remember these things. And then because we have been taught how to handle things using shortcuts, you simply highlight the cells of interest. So I have typed is equal to sum, open bracket, and then I highlighted all the cells that I wanted, and then I close the bracket. Pressing enter gives me a function like this. And without much ado, I autofill the others to get the totals for the others. Remember, hash error will occur when the column width is quite narrow than the values to be displayed. So that is why we have to widen. I have highlighted the different columns, the 3 columns which had the hash error. So double clicking one of them to automatically resize will resize all the highlighted columns. Likewise, total revenue across now for each hotel. Again, I use the function because we have been told to use function. We are using SUM function, and then highlight the cells of interest, and then I close the bracket like so, and then I autofill downward. So all these now, they have a similar formula using sum function. Okay. We go to part C. Part C says this. Part C, we are told insert 2 rows above row 1 and type the title Mbalambara Group Hotels in cell A1. So I go back to Excel, inserting 2 rows. What do? Highlight row 1 and 2, and then right click any of the 2 highlighted, and then you choose insert. Simple as that. Okay, highlighting the 2 first rows, and then because we have been told to insert 2 rows, that's why I highlighted 2 rows. Okay, so that we end up inserting 2 rows, and then we type Mbalambala Group Hotels. So in A1, Balambala Group Hotels. Balabala Group Hotels in A1. That's what we have typed there now. What else are we to do? I read from the paper in cell A1. Merge the cells in the range A1 colon G1. A1 colon G1. We merge them. On home ribbon, we have got the merge and center tool. Merge and center tool. Very good. I have done that for 1 mark. Apply bold and font size 15. Apply bold and then font size 15 to the title. We don't have 15, so how do we maneuver to have 15? So I have selected 14, but I need to type in the font box, font size box. You can type a value. So you type 15 there, and then you press enter. That changes the font to 15. 1 mark again. So D, using cell addresses only, compute the administrative cost for each quarter. Let me show you where that one is at. It is on this page number 3. Using cell addresses only, compute the administrative cost for each quarter. given that the cost is a percentage of the total revenue and the percentage rate is in cell B18. The percentage rate is in cell B18. That one is very critical for us to note. That is why I was wondering where 30% should be placed. It should be in B18. So let's look at the structure of our worksheet. Down here, this is where we are supposed to calculate the what? The administrative cost from cells C17 all the way to F17. The percentage should not be a part of the label, but it should be in cell B18. So I want to type in B18, I want to type 30%. I type 30% because the examiner says that's where it should have been. So to make it look like the way it was, I can left align it so that it is moved closer to the word percentage. So that administrative cost for each quarter, given that the cost is a percentage of the total revenue and percentage rate is in cell. Okay, so we are subjecting the total revenue for each quarter versus this percentage. So to get administrative cost, it is simply like saying it is equal to 30%. Where is 30%? It is in B18. So you don't type 30% directly, but you use the cell in which 30% is at. So times what? Times the total revenue per this quarter. This quarter, the total is in C16. So that gives me 47,030 as the administrative cost. And because we want to do things very fast in an exam, I autofill to get the rest. So it gives me zeros. Somebody should be guessing why. Is because C18 times D16. D16 is okay because it is the total quarterly revenue for second quarter. But what about the percentage? The percentage, there is a shift from B18, from our initial formula, to C18. Remember, we have been taught about the uses or the differences between absolute and relative cell references. So here we must recall that the examiner wanted us to learn that this question is actually testing, do we manage, are we recalling that there is what we call absolute cell referencing. So in this case, B18, I'm going to make it absolute so that I am going to use the same formula which I have in C17 to get the other subsequent formulas there. So you find because of the additional dollar symbols, it makes B18 absolute reference, while C16 is relative reference. So C16 should be changing from C16 to D16 to E16 and so on and so on. But B18 must always remember the 30% we have in B18. That's why we are making B18 absolute. So you notice B18 does not change because it's an absolute reference. Very good. And then we go to the next question. The next question is apply a thick outside borders and regular inside borders to cells in the range A3 to G18. A3 to G18. A3, before we forget, A3 to G18. Where is 18? Good. There we are. A thick border around and regular borders inside. So we had applied regular borders. We can just refresh that. All borders applies regular borders. But a thick border outside, we can click this button. You see that now affects the area which we had selected is now having a thick border all around, and there are the regular borders, the black lines within. So already done. So F, copy all the contents of the current worksheet to a new worksheet. Copy all the contents of the current worksheet to a new worksheet. Very good. So many ways of achieving that. One way is by selecting the whole worksheet, right-clicking, choosing copy, then inserting a new worksheet here, and then right-clicking where the column references intersect with the row references at this corner here, and then you right-click and then you choose paste. Paste as it is, right? So it will reproduce that. However, another way which I like better, sorry, let me redo once. Another way which I like better is by right-click the sheet itself, move all copy, and then at the bottom here we say create a copy. Create a copy where? Create a copy either before sheet 2 or move to the end, depending. So before sheet 2, let me have my new copy there. So I've got sheet 1 and sheet 2, a duplicate. So in this case, you see they are completely identical, such that when I'm switching between the two sheets, you are not able even to notice the difference. Okay, so now the next part says rename the old worksheet as original and the new worksheet as formatted. Old one, original, new one, formatted. So let's do it. How do we rename our worksheet? Simple. Double click the sheet name. Double click the sheet name to have it highlighted, and immediately it's highlighted, you overtype the existing text with the new text, original, and this other one is formatted. Formatted. That's what the examiner has said, and that's how it has been written. So even this one should be beginning with small o. Supposing there were some marks about capitalization. Then we switch back to our questions. G now, that's where we are. You can see how we are scoring marks. G, change the page layout orientation on the formatted worksheet to landscape and the page size scaled to 80%. That is 2 marks. Good. We go back there very fast. Then page layout is where we are going to change the page orientation. We change the page orientation and then have it as a landscape, and then scale. Still on page layout there is the scale part, so you can spin the value until you get 80. They are displayed at intervals of 555%, so therefore it's easy to spin to the percentage required. Done. Roman 2, enter the values 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 in the cell range B20, colon B23, respectively, representing the hotel star ratings. Let us see. Enter the values 2, 3, 4, and 5 respectively in the cells from B20 to B23 respectively, representing the star category ratings. Okay, now you understand what we mean. We go to B20. B20 is where? There. B20. And then to up all the way to B23. So we type 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, all the way to B23. These are the type 2 values, right? These are the type 2 values of the star ratings. Let me probably apply a similar format, just like in the star category. And then we do what? The next thing, using a function and cell references, compute the total revenue for each hotel references. Okay. Oh, that is good. Compute the total revenue for each hotel references. Total revenue for each hotel references. So what do they mean by that? Total revenue for each hotel references. So like now, hotel number 2 is our first interest. So the total revenue for this particular hotel should be this total revenue plus this other total. So the total revenues for hotel star rating 2, we have got Falkland 583, which is appearing in cell G5, and then there is another one which is appearing in cell G10, 538,500. But how do we go about that? So in this case, we are being tested whether we can be able to remember that there was something called SUMIF. SUMIF. Okay, SUMIF. So let's see. The total revenue for hotel star category 2, we are going to type the formula is equal to SUMIF. I am just typing in capital letters so that it can be much legible. SUMIF. SUMIF will have 3 parts. Down here we can see there is the range, there is the criteria, and then there is the sum range. So the range is where are we going to trace whether the value that is inside there is 1, is 2, 3, or 4. The range, the area in which you are forming your criteria. So in this case, the range becomes now from this cell B4 down to cell B12. That's the range. All right. Then we go to comma. All right. Let me go to the main formula down here. We type a comma so that we give a criteria, where criteria is equal to 2. So I just simply click B20, where we have got the value that we are testing, and then a comma. Okay, so that again we now can change, we can get the sum range, which values now are to be added up. The values to be added up are these ones, So notice again, we have said the first part, which is range, refers to the area which has got the values that we are testing, whether we have it as 2, and these are the star ratings. Okay, and then the criteria is the value that we typed in B20, and then the sum range, it is the actual values to be added up, to be totaled. So I close the bracket, and having created the first formula, which works well, I can simply autofill to get the others. But I'm wrong, because what will change? There is something that is shifting. You can notice that our areas of the range and also the sum range, they are changing, shifting downwards. They should not. The only thing that should keep on changing is the criteria from the 2 to 3. So to restrict the initial change, I just need to go back to my initial formula and apply absolute referencing to cell B4. I will simply this time press, when my cursor is somewhere between B and 4, I press F4 key on the keyboard, F4, to add dollars automatically. B4, now that one is automatic. So remember, pressing it again will make it mixed, pressing it again mixed, and then pressing it again relative, and then absolute. Then B12, I make it absolute. G4, absolute. So I'm simply pressing F4 to have those dollars appear. The only place of having the relative reference was the criteria, because that one should be changing. As we copy the formula downward, we should move from the B20 to get to B21 and on like that. So like so, right? So if you notice, the last formula is still referring to B4 to B12, this part, and then the other part G4 to G12, the other part for the totals to be added up. Good. So that is about total revenue. And then what else were we asked? Compute the total revenue for each hotel category in the first quarter using the reference values in B20 colon B23 in the cells C20 to C23. So it is again like repeating what we have done, but in this case, it is first quarter. First quarter is what is expected that we use now. First quarter. So this is, can we label this one? We are not told whether to label, but common sense might say that we need to name them. Total revenue, total revenue, and then first quarter now, first quarter. So likewise, again, we just create a new formula as equal to SUMIF, open bracket, range is what? The range of the values to be evaluated, whether they meet the desired criteria. Then, comma, what criteria? B20, okay? B20. And then what are we adding? The values in the first quarter. The values in the first quarter. The values in the first quarter. Press enter. Same argument again. If I autofill this formula downward, there will be that shift, the automatic change in the cell addresses. To restrict that, I make B4 absolute, B12 absolute, C4 absolute, C12 absolute, like so. And then I autofill downward. All right. So there I am. That part, I believe, is answered. Sort the revenues from the hotels in descending order of hotels. Sort the revenues from the hotels in descending order of hotels. Easy. So in that case, where are we sorting this part here? Of course, the upper. Don't make a mistake of highlighting the whole thing, including these others, but it is just that part. And then we go to data menu or data ribbon, sort, and then we are told sort by hotel. In which order? In descending order of hotels. Sort the revenues in descending order of hotels. So descending order again, order Z to A is descending, A to Z is ascending. So like so, there we are, Voyager until Sete in. So that's how again we could have done the sorting. Carry on to the next part. Create a column chart that compares the revenues of the hotels in star category 4 for the first and second quarter. A column chart that compares the revenues of hotels in star category 4 for the first and second quarter. Right? So we go to our data. What do we do? There are these hotels that are belonging to the first, the fourth word, star category 4. So we have got that one, and also that one, and also that one. So I have highlighted the data that I want. How did I highlight? Let me start by highlighting palm tree, the part, you know, the label palm tree, star category, and the first column's value, first quarter's value, and then to highlight the next non-adjacent group of cells, I hold Control key on the keyboard and then highlight highway up to the first quarter, the values that I want. Still holding Control key on the keyboard, I highlight the next hotel, which is City Inn, up to the values that I want. So that's the data that I should use, and then I go now to insert. What kind of a graph? Column chart. Insert what? Column chart. This is what? Is this the column chart? Point a bit, insert column or bar chart. So this one. So we want column. Don't use very elaborate and very sophisticated ideologies that you are trying to use these decorated 3D bars. If you are not told to do so, use the simplest. So there is our chart. Very plain, isn't it? Very plain. And again, you can notice that already we have got something that is funny. The small bar which is appearing here as series 1 is the representation of the star category, but we did not want to have star category there. Star category should either come in as a label, or we just can choose even to ignore it. So what we do is to go to select, or the menu which is active now when the chart is selected is chart tools, and under it we have got chart design, and under it we have got some icons like select data. So under select data, series 1 is unnecessary, so I click series 1 and I choose to remove it. So those are the 3 hotels that belong to the 4th star category, right? Then I click OK. Let me read further the instructions about our chart. So we have just inserted the column chart, and then we have got the format to format the chart as follows. Chart title, first and second quarter revenues. Were we told about second quarter? That compares. Oops. Okay, probably I misread there. Sorry for that. I only included the values for the first quarter. But do I need to worry? Not at all. I don't need to worry. What I need to do is simply having the chart. Instead of deleting, I go to select data again, and then here now I'm going to add a series. Okay, add a series. How did I get here? Select data from chart tools menu, and then add a series. In this series, we are going to analyze the second quarter. So the series name becomes TOOD, the title of the second set of values. And then I uncollapse. Where are the values? Collapse. Click this arrow. We call it collapse button. Collapse. And then I click on 163, hold control, 136 and 177,400. 3 cells again, right? So you can see we have got the 3 items that I have already selected. Okay, then now so there is also another thing that I still need to do while I am still here, that I need to edit the category labels, the x-axis labels, these ones. So how do we do that? I click on this arrow to collapse so that I can come and click palm tree, highway. I'm holding control to select non-adjacent items and then city in, and then I uncollapse, and then I click on OK. So there we are. The 3 items have been selected as the labels to be applied on the x-axis, and then OK. All right. So you can see now the series for the first quarter is not correctly indicated. I still can go back to select data to be sure that I have done it correctly. The series 2, I go back there and edit and call it first, the cell that has got the label first. Okay, so that on the legend we are now able to see first and second. Chart title has been given, so you just need to highlight the existing title and then replace with the suggested title by the examiner, first and second quarter revenues. First and second quarter revenues. First and second quarter revenues. Very good. Having done so, move the chart to a new sheet. Rename the sheet as 4-star revenues. Very good. So once more, we go back to the chart, and then still on chart tools, chart design page or chart design ribbon, move chart. We have been told we create a new sheet, and it is going to be called, the name suggested is 4-star, one word, 4-star and then a space, revenues, 4-star revenues. And there we are. That's our chart. It is already in its own sheet in isolation, so I can move it to have it after the formatted worksheet. Okay, yes, so now there we are. Having worked like that, of course you expect the last item to be tested will be printing ability. Save the changes. Save the changes. Are we being given any other file name to use? No, I think it was just task 1. So we come, save the changes, click on save. The examiner did not recommend any other file name. If they could have, we could have gone to file, save as. Then print later each of the following. At the end of the exam, a printer will be availed and we are going to be told to print now. So what shall we print? Original worksheet, showing the column and row headings, showing the column and row headings, then the formatted worksheet, then the 4-star revenue. So to print, we simply go to the worksheet required, and then we need to assess whether it will be printed correctly. Original. I have gone to Control P. I have pressed Control P so that I can be very sure that when I go to the printer, I'll be able to print it correctly. Now I find that it is spilling over to a page 2. A portion is spilling over to a page 2. So to avoid such a scenario, I always recommend this, that you first make sure that you assign a print area to your work. Assign a print area. When I zoom in so much, when I zoom out so much, you find the hash error is appearing. However, it will not be the case when I print out. Highlight the whole table to be printed, and then on page layout, remember to set the printable area. Page layout, print area, set print area. So that assigns this highlighted region to be the area which you want to print. You can see there is a dotted line here which is appearing, showing me there will be an overflow, that this will fit on a page, but there is a spillover to a second page, the column G, content. So to settle that, what about if I changed the margins to narrow? Okay, that does not solve the situation. What about if I reduce the width of column A? How is it going to be? Does it solve? If it does, well and good. If it fails, if you find like you have tried to do all the modifications and still your worksheet is spilling over, then that's the time when you open the page setup window so that you force the work to, in this dialog, page setup dialog, page ribbon, you fit to 1 page is tall to 1 page is wide. That way, you are going to find your work will automatically be fitted within 1 page. Okay, so now if I print out, that's how our page is gonna be. That's how it's gonna be, right? So well and good. That's the original. Formatted, I do likewise. I can highlight the whole table again. Then page layout, ribbon. We do what? Set the print area, and there are some few things that I will do at the bottom here, applying some formats, like applying printable border, okay, applying the comma style so that it becomes consistent. Of course, the examiner cannot penalize you for that, and probably formatting the headings, and then the font to concur with the others. We had used Times New Roman, so I also remember to apply Times New Roman and then size 12 to this area that we have at the bottom here. So wrap text can help me break my text into 2 lines if need be. Then if I now try to print preview Wow, this one is perfect. This one is perfect. So it is going to fit within one page landscape orientation as we had been asked earlier to set. So that's how it will be. So I just need now to hit print if the printer is correctly selected, and then it will come out the way I want. Charts do not have an issue. Control P will just display how the chart will be on a full page, and then you hit the print button. So my viewers, I wish to say that that is how you could have tackled this question that was presented in the year 2021 for the class of 2020 KCSE candidates. Otherwise, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and if it has become necessary, if it has been of use to you or of help to you, remember to subscribe to our channels, remember to share, remember to like or comment so that we know areas where we might require to improve. Thank you very much for staying with us. May you stay safe and blessed. Thank you.